Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well. Welcome. My name's Mike. I'm excited to share some updates on the Security Detections MCP, and this might be my last update for this, leaving it to all of you to go and expand and keep this running. We'll see, right? Let's check it out. So, biggest things is we recently added the Sublime queries. So you can now import all those to the database. They are natively ingested and normalized as you would expect, just like the rest of the content. Similarly, brought in some CrowdStrike CQL. So all of that's in there. The other major features in here before we get into other things is, so out of everything, it's about 8,200 detections. The big thing too is we're now extracting procedural level coverage. It auto extracts and clusters it all together by procedure. So think of like base 64 or whatever it may be. It'll extract it out, tag to techniques, MITRE, all the things. It's all in here. It's very powerful. We also bring in MITRE sticks, so you can now drill in and or provide the LLM direct access to procedure, technique, actor, group, all that kind of stuff, drills all this information. Anyway, it's a heavy amount of info. Prior work, and I did update the lane graph work as well. So if you are using or getting into the lane graph and just pipeline autonomous stuff, this is all now updated as well with the latest for sticks, procedural level coverage and everything like that. Obviously, Sublime and CQL will pull into those just fine. And pretty much the rest is the same. The biggest changes is I did add deep links here. So if you want to add the cursor, VS Code, you got buttons. There's obviously, how to do it simply via here. And then you probably have noticed a couple of big pieces here. I created a website, and I'm really excited. It is in the web directory. So if you are curious and or want to build this internally, you can do that too. Everything's in web. And so I've just been updating it, and the link is here, detect.michaelhaig.org, and my website's michaelhaig.org. If you're watching this, give the project a star. We're almost at 400. That's kind of a big deal, right? So hey, let's go ahead and actually, one thing I want to share is I like to show this. I think it's kind of cool. On Pulse MCP, the repo is generating a lot of traffic and a lot of buzz. Similarly, if you go to the npm.js site, you can easily see here too that everybody has been updating, which is incredible. About 228 folks just in the last 5 days have updated to the latest. I just pushed 3.2. I had some issues because I don't know how to npm, but yeah, so 3.2 is out, 3.222. But yeah, this is cool. We have like 388-ish people who are actively downloading it pretty consistently, and some people still using the old version out there too, which is totally fine. It works, right? All the buttons are here too. So anyway, let's dive into the new website, detect.michaelhaig.org. Yeah, so I prompted Claude a lot for this, so that's where a lot of the web component and everything like that come in. The idea is that I wanted, again, to make this as easy as possible for folks to start using the MCP. And then I was like, why don't we just make this an MCP? I'm using Supabase on the back end, nightly on Git. If you look at the Git actions, hey, while we're here, why don't we just look at the Git actions real quick? This updates nightly. It runs, and it will each night go and sync to the database. So you can see here, it takes about 3-4 minutes. It goes and builds the MCP, installs everything, clones all the repos, builds it, indexes everything to the local DB, and then it syncs it up to Supabase. I do that so that it's quick and easy, and nightly we get updated coverage. Yesterday it was like 8,400-ish, today's 87. Obviously the sticks, attack techniques, all that stuff. And if we add a new source tomorrow, it will automatically start pulling that in as well. Yeah, so this is pretty wild. All the coverage, all the sources are here. You can explore the database. Similarly, this is the same database that you would build locally. You can explore all that here. You can chat with a chatbot. So if you want to know what coverage is in Splunk content or Elastic content, all of that's here. You can check coverage level access, threat actor mapping stuff. All that is in here. Most of everything is free. The only thing that I'm asking is if you do want better models for the AI chat, just ship me 25 bucks as a GitHub sponsor. It's expensive to use the frontiers. So if you want it, I'll happily change you over to a pro account. If you want to bring your own API key, you could do that too. Bring your own key, pop it in, and I'll show you where all that goes. So anyway, let's explore. Let's go to explore. I already logged in, so I have an account. So under Explore, you can now search through all the detections that are in the database, similar to what you have locally. So if you want to look at CrowdStrike content, flip to it, you could drill in. Remember that we normalize this data. So you will see a different set of information than you would if you went to the actual repo where the content is hosted, which can all be found on the project. And so here's the raw content down here at the bottom. Shout out to ByteRay for sharing all this publicly. Everything is tagged as you would expect. You want to look at Sigma stuff. I'm just kind of jumping to pick one random one. So you can see here's the Sigma query, got author info, things like that, the reference, if there's a reference in that project, and attack tags and everything like that here too, plus the raw data. So if you want to see the raw information, again, it's going to be a little limited because we only normalize across all of them the same content. Similar Elastic, if you want to go and dig into that, it's here too. Pretty cool, right? Yeah, very webby. Let's see, coverage. Let's clicky. So coverage is just high level, what coverage across all of this content. You can see where most everybody focuses and where all the heavy hitters are. And then as it goes down the line of the rest of the tactics, source breakdown, Sigma's the leader. We should do a magic quadrant here showing hey, you guys need to up your work here. Splunk, Elastic, Sublime, KQL, CrowdStrike folks. Anyway, cool button here is called reports. If you have a threat report and you want it to be analyzed, you can upload it and it extracts everything out for you. Hey, look at that. There's some public reports here too. So if you actually want to share a report, I'll show you back here. So let's do analyze my first report. Give it a title if you want. You can give it a report URL. Actually, that's the only way. Just give it a URL. It'll go and rip it. You can paste the text as well, and it'll rip it through there. And what do the reports look like? Here you go. Let's look at this one. This is a SOC Prime blog right here. And it tells you what it extracted, 18 techniques, 17 of them are covered. There's potentially a gap in there. And so, yeah, and now you have a full breakdown of everything that we have coverage for across all of these sources, the detections, how many detections at each level, which is a crazy amount. Obviously, like domain fronting, so there's that. And then the domains, if there's domains that were extracted, pretty wild, right? Just for free, just create an account, I believe, for reports. So yeah, check out chat too. Couple things I figured out as I was working on this. So it's using the free model through OpenRouter, because again, I cannot pay for Opus for everybody or Sonnet for everybody. It's 25 bucks or bring your own key, whatever you want to do. I also modified it to where some of these things are focused on database queries. So there will be a standard format, if you're asking for coverage based on something and whatnot. So you kind of see it goes and just hits finds APT 29, and then it tells you pretty standard canned output here. There may be an LLM call here. I can't remember. That just kind of provides a quick summary. So yeah, so I try to highlight here transparently that there is a DB query for most of these. It can read the web. So the free model, there is a free model that we're using that will basically, has tool calls, so it can tool call out to the web, things like that. So it does help. And then if you want to try this one for Splunk, let's hit enter. This will use the LLM through OpenRouter. and it just basically goes and queries. Because it's a free open router LLM, it's going to be a little slow because you're like competing against the whole world who also wants to use free. But this isn't horrible. Search for credential access, so LSAS, allow ops with consent admin. So yeah, it's kind of pulling some cloudy stuff, things like that. So not amazing, not incredible, but if you were to flip this to your own key or use, pay sponsor, and use that, it would be much better. So, but yeah, pretty cool. It can also deep link from here to the Actors tab. The Actors tab is exactly as it sounds. This comes from MITRE and Sticks, and it cross-correlates and joins through the database so that you are able to drill in to this group called Agrius, which is from MITRE, been around for a few years now. 22 techniques, 22 covered, no gaps, 100% amazing. And then if you're like, well, all that content, let's see those procedures because I'm a procedural person. Again, the website will show you here. You got all of this related to local data from local system T1005, and you can kind of drill in and see all the procedures here. So that's everything they do, and it's all extracted. It may not be perfect, but hey, free 99, kind of neat. And then here's the actual detections mapped, other threat actors. You can kind of see, based on source and where they're coming from, and you can drill into those too. Like, let's just dig into this Elastic one here and look at manual memory dump via proc file system on Linux, looking for event actions, and then your process name against with that command line procman. So anyway, kind of cool. Look at the raw content, bam, right there. Yeah, there's quite a bit. This is a simple little comparison. So like, you're like, hey, like, what's the difference between these two groups? Show me. So basically they have shared gaps. You can kind of get a little visual of like, a lot of these things probably cross over pretty heavily. And if you drill in to this particular group, 28, you'll see the gaps that we don't have coverage for across all these sources and whatnot. Okay, so the craziest thing I added in here was you can now use this as a MCP. You can obviously run it locally, which many of you probably are, but I'm hosting it as well. You just need to create an API key in your settings page. I'll show you that. So hosted MCP, there's no setup. You literally just go to your site, you go to your account, generate a token, click the button here or on the repo, and it'll open up your cursor or VS Code, whatever you want to do, Claude Code, command line. I got the one-liners, things like that. You just copy, paste, run, and you're good to go. So yeah, you're all set on all that. And then again, you just can start asking. Now, the biggest difference is it does not have all these same tools as the local one. So the local one is still king at this point. 81 tools on the local, and there's about 25 on the hosted. So it's as powerful, but not as powerful as the local instance because you can do a lot more locally than you can with the cloud. But honestly, there's a lot more here than probably most free things out there that you can get. So yeah, just click Get Hosted Tokens. You'll go into your portal here. This is the settings page on the bottom left. So create your account, go to the settings page. You're ready to rock. Everything's here too. So configure your client, copy, paste, one-liner, whatever you want to do, or just update it manually. Codecs, everything. Create your token. My first token. Yay. Hello world. It's just streamable HTTP. Everything is TLS encrypted. I use Vercel on the front end. So it just basically goes from there. You copy that and you can dismiss. And yeah, just paste it in, set it up, ready to rock. You can revoke it as well. There are some things built in, right? So if you end up sponsoring, yay, thank you so much. I'll promote you to pro pretty quickly just so that you can start using all the cool features with chat. Yeah, so give it a shot. Hosted MCP, local MCP, everything's here for you. I hope you get a lot of use out of this. This may be my last iteration on this project, other than just updating some sources or whatnot. Now that this is fully automated and everything's rolling, I think it's done. Let me know what you all think. Comment, subscribe, like, share, tell your neighbors, tell your friends, tell your SOC, tell your MSSP, tell your MDR vendors. Let them all know about this cool resource. And yeah, I will see you all again very soon. Have a good one.